Welcome back after 1 year. So we are here in front of Osho Bodhisattva Garden, established in 2017, and we had a video made in 2018 October. So it's kind of a follow-up video after 1 year. This is December 16, 2019. It's warm, 82 degrees Fahrenheit today, and welcome to South Florida. So we will now go along all the plants that we showed you before. Probably there are some new ones, but let's go to this direction first, to this corner. You will see this gracilis bamboo. Probably in the last one it was very small, just planted, and now it has really taken off after 1 year. Well, I would like to tell you that bamboos need constant watering, but we mulched it a lot and we never watered it after a couple of times after we first planted it. Behind this bamboo, we planted a mulberry. I think we got this from the Miami-Dade free tree giveaway. It's adopted tree program. What's strange about this is that all the other mulberries drop their leaves in winter. This one still has good amount. So let me remind you that we are outside of the fence right now. This is by the side of the street, and so you can still utilize this area for sometimes for privacy, sometimes for fruits. So here we have bananas planted. They were actually not planted, they were there and nobody destroyed them when they were making the house. So we decided to keep it because they give really tasty bananas. Usually the underside of the banana tree gets very dry and dirty, so what we did was we brought some crinum lily, and look, they are giving flowers, really fragrant, and they also give a nice ornamental view. So I think that's a good thing. Another thing what we did here is I just planted this dwarf Chinese bamboo. We were told that it really gets into a thick bush, but time will tell. Again, I have watered it a couple times, but our plan is to dump a load of truck from FPL of wood chips. So whatever they dump up, it will be spread around here as well, and most of it will be taken inside for our veggies and fruits. Forgot about the tree, Dracaena. So it's supposed to be growing taller, and it will maintain its nice, cute look like this as it grows taller, but it will also give other side branches, so it really looks nice once it grows tall. So this dude was picked up from the side of the street. Someone was just moving their apartment, and they didn't have any space for their plants, so they had just dumped it by the side of the street, and now here they are thriving and happy and got a new home. So from 2018 to 2019, you can see this silang-ilang has really grown. A lot of flowers, and they are very fragrant. Every afternoon and late afternoon, evening, you walk along the street, you'll really have this smell of perfume smell going around. So I think it's a good tree to have if you have space, and this tree grows up like a Christmas tree, so it won't be growing horizontally, it won't go broad. So if you have just a tall space, then you can really plant this tree for fragrance and for beauty. It really looks nice. We are behind this tamarind. We don't know whether this is a sweet tamarind or the sour tamarind. Turns out there are many varieties of the tamarind, not the Manila tamarind, but the tamarindas. And 1 year into the ground, and it's really bushing up, growing pretty well. Here we have frangipani that was planted a couple months ago, never watered, and mulched a lot. Again, doing okay, I guess. Not thriving like many other frangipanis, but it does have leaves. Here there is a snow bush that also has grown taller from last year. If you go and look along the fence, you can see we have transplanted two dwarf jasmines. One is the air both are air layers, and this was planted a couple of weeks or months before this one. So I think if you look at the leaves, this is also starting to grow as good as that one, but time will tell. This is a beauty berry, American beauty berry, that was growing very beautifully with a lot of flowers. Some lot of flowers were there, and when I was taking it out from that place, I was really worried that it would die, but seems like it's a good survivor. A lot of roots were cut when I brought, but seems like it took, and now it's even starting to flower. Well, not much on this side. We have a native tree, a lot of birds like this, and this is a nice flower. I knew the name of this one. I think what it gives, it's a beautiful flowers here, and it's a nice bush, and one of our friends, Victor, gave this, and this one, both given by Victor. So not much on this side. Now we can actually go from the front of our house. This is a dwarf Chinese goddess. Seems like you can see the leaves are a little, leaf tips look brown because it's dry season. Once it starts in summertime, it really grows, thrives well. Side you can see the shoe button ardisia. I really like these berries. I have to research what's the nutritional value of this, but I really like the slight sweetness with a bit of tartness. You have these seeds which you can sprout as well. Just make sure that you don't eat it before going for work, because you can see what happens. So this area, it's more like a tropical ornamental look with a lot of ferns and different plants. From last year, this whole sea grape was cut, but it grew very, very fast, and it's again bushing up. The curry tree is the same. I think it hasn't bushed up much. It needs sun, and it doesn't get as much sun as it needs. Also, I have figured out that if you prune curry tree, it will give lateral branches. So we haven't pruned this. What we did was we air layered one of the big branch, and that air layer took, and it's now growing under a greenhouse. So we will show that other curry tree later. So this is a serious cactus. It's an epiphytic, and it enjoys to be wet, and it also gives blooms. These blooms are at night time, so you really have to wake up at night to catch up those blooming flowers. They're very big and beautiful. This part of our garden does not get sun, so this is a shaded portion. It gets a little bit of morning sun, but that's it. And we wanted to show you that it's still possible to make a thriving, green, lush, and diverse plants in this shaded area. If you want to get the names of all these plants, we will just let us know in the comment section, and we will write it down. But you can look at all the different plants. There are some that are butterfly attractant, some they love water, some give a lush green look to this place, but there are many different plants in this small area, and they all seem to be doing good without sun. Behind these sea grapes, we planted a nectarine last year. It grew pretty fast. It did flower last year but didn't fruit, so hopefully there will be enough chill hours this year for it to give flowers and fruit as well. Deep inside this forest of sea grapes, we had planted strawberry guava, and kind of forgotten about it, but it seems like it's not liking this place. We will take it to a more sunny area. What I would do is I would air layer it here, and once the air layer takes, let's chop it off from here and transplant this whole tree to a more sunny place. Not much changes we've done here. The cocoa plum has grown taller, natal plum is growing well. The Florida peach unfortunately has never done since we bought them. Seems like now finally it's dying. We didn't know much about peach trees. Turns out there are many varieties, and this one says Florida Prince, a low chill one. We got this when we were in Fort Myers. Probably there are other peach varieties that do well here in South Florida, but this one didn't do well for us. The chaya tree that we got from Fort Myers as well, from So Exotic farm, it's doing well since we planted, really doing well. This is a potted plant, and this will not be here. We will plan to take it in a more sunny area. This is the one that we just got a couple days ago. It's a Fuyu parsimon. I did a little bit of research. It doesn't mind sandy soil. It likes full sun. It does drop all its leaves during the winter, so don't worry about that. Once the spring comes, the leaves will come back, and this is the time to prune when there are no leaves. So we will see how it does. Fuyu parsimon is the non-astringent type of parsimon, so we are planning to get it into the ground when we have time. So moving forward, this area, we can see some things here. These are passion fruits, and passion fruit was planted along this fence, and it really climbed up the royal palm on our neighbor's side. Since we can't get up there, we just wait for them to fall. But you can see here that seems like someone got to them faster than us, whether they were squirrels or opossums. Probably squirrels. Opossum would like to eat when it is already fallen and rotten. So this shaded area we have kept as kind of a area for plants which are still very small, like seedlings or plants who need time for recovery, like cuttings. And we have a leaf compost here that we got a free composter from our county. And there is a small seedling here of plant called rukam. It tastes like grape, but with more flavor, different flavors to it. I really like this tree, and it was fruiting. It would fruit in November time, when the mango season is over and not much is happening around in terms of fruit. So November, December, I think we'll wait for this to grow, and I don't know how much it will take, but it is propagated by seed, so we'll just wait for it to grow fast. Another seedling of carambola here. This is a small plant, soursop, that we got from a nursery. It was really cheap, and if you don't know the variety, it's a seedling. Now these are our raised beds for our veggies. You can see that we have used different methods this year for the tomatoes. I wanted to tell you two things. One is that we have this huge water collection tank that we directly collect rainwater from the downspout and put it here. So far we have not had any need, maybe once or twice during the dry season, January, December, February season, that we might have to do with the city water with the hose. Otherwise we have been lucky so far that we collect the water, and if it doesn't rain for more than a week, we give water to veggies and to trees that have been newly planted. Another thing is that this is the pipe that comes from the AC drainage. Most of the time it just gets wasted in everybody's home, but we use that water, and we took the pipe and we put it in the raised bed. This area, it likes a lot of water. That is the valerian and then the brassica, the kale. They require a lot of water, so we are using that water. So moving forward, we will be going here. We have our different seedlings. This is my wife is doing all this, but I can tell you a little bit about it. These are all bok choys, and we have some Nepali mustards there that were really tasty, and this is the casa banana. When I was in Fruit and Spice Park last time, a couple months ago, they had a fruit to taste. It was really long and red outside, but inside was really tasty, fruity smell and taste. So this is our first time growing it from seed. Let's see how it does. We will be planting it in that arch that we showed you a bit earlier. So this is not all the seeds that we have. We have a lot of seedlings that are planning to go into this raised bed. This raised bed, this is culantro. We didn't know about this, but it has similar taste as cilantro, and cilantro is a little finicky to grow down here in this humid and hot conditions here in South Florida, but this one grows very well and it has the same taste. So we have been using it in our curries and breakfast, and we are pretty happy with this as a substitute for cilantro. This bed here we are planning to make for ginger, so we will be planting a lot of gingers here. This one looks much greener. We are experimenting with different varieties of tomatoes, so we will see if we can grow. So far they have been doing well, but we will have to give a lot of aeration to this, and since our winters are getting wetter as well with a lot of rain, we just fear they get powdery mildew or other diseases. So look at this mess down here. It's full of seeds, and each seed is going to sprout. And these seeds are coming from up there. These tall trees are called Christmas palms. Well, they may be okay for your ornamental front lawn, but we are a food forest here, and we don't think we will be able to eat those seeds. So what we are doing is we are going to take them down. Well, some of you might argue that we could just take the fruits out, but it's too tall and they are going to grow taller. We will just be taking them down one by one. Unfortunately, they should belong somewhere in the front of a beautiful hotel or in a parking lot in a hospital or an office, not here in the food forest. What we will do for this area, my plan is it will be more like Atimoya garden. Probably the parsimon will come here as well. I don't know if they are the same family, but looks like they all drop their leaves during the winter and they like a lot of sun. They don't mind the sandy soil, so they all match. So this is, I have been told that this is Annona diversifolia iliama. The variety is Guillermo, and I have been told that it doesn't do well here in South Florida because it likes long dry period, which we don't get because our winters are rainy as well. But let's see, it's an experiment. Most of the fruits that we grow here have tasted much better than anywhere else around, probably because we don't irrigate our plants every day, and they hold that sweetness to them. So probably it will fruit and probably it will be sweet. Time will tell in coming years. So there will be a Fuyu parsimon, Iyama will be there. We already have a Lisa Atimoya and a Gefner Atimoya. So trees for this area. Well, what you can see here is a failed attempt for air layering. So couple of YouTube videos, and I thought I would just give it a go. What happened was I was trying to make a cut that was halfway through, and so that I could put a cut end of a glass. It was an attempt for water air layering, but once I cut a little bit more than halfway, then the branch was not holding and just chopped off. So I hope that actually there is a bud coming out from here, so I hope that there will be a bud coming out soon, so this is not a loss. And the chopped part is also actually it is doing well for a couple days now. It is in a mixture of coco coir with a lot of water, and it's doing well, so hopefully that will root as well. Behind here, our good old strawberry tree looks well, and it's growing well, no problems. And the langan is doing well, and I don't know if we had planted this little baby in 2018, but it has grown a little bit taller and wider. The sugarloaf mango, I can see a lot of buds which are pushing, and I don't know whether it's flower or not, but I think I will not let it fruit this year. I would like to give it one more year and get it a little more established. A new thing that we did, so we had this Australian pine that we didn't intend to kill, we just intend to cut it like around 12 to 14 feet, but seems like the tree didn't like, and a lot of them died. So one tree is this one, and it's a very good way to leave the stump and use it for something beneficial. What we are doing here is we have a dragon fruit, red variety, and another one, there is a yellow variety. So they have just been planted probably 2 months ago, and they have been doing okay. We don't water them because I think they don't like that much water. So going to this area, this is the air layered curry tree that I was talking about before. The roots have come out, and these are all new leaves that have come out. All the leaves had fallen after air layering, so these are all new leaves, but still it will need time to establish, so I think it's good to leave it under a greenhouse. Our lemon meringue mango was really suffering 1 year ago, still has damage from salt. Could it be because it's too close to the river? Could it be because there was some nitrogen in the soil? We don't know, but I think it is in a recovery mode. I can see a lot of buds coming out here, so hopefully it will take off soon. The loquat also is doing the same, so most likely it is the river. This is a brackish river. It has some salt in it, and the salt, when the river rises up, it will come in, and there will be damage. Mostly this damage will be seen in the drier season, because that's when the salt concentration will be high because of the dryness in the soil. One way to do it is to put a lot of water and wash the salt off. Another way, just let the tree do its thing, and it seems like it is doing. I see a lot of new leaves. We never expected this to grow as bushier as it is. This is some kind of ornamental pandanus, and it seems like it's creeping in, and soon we will have to start giving it away, putting them in pots. So if you like this tree, and if you want to have it in a pot where it would not spread around, and it really looks nice and bushy, it also kind of, it's a showpiece. So if we happen to take any one of them out and put it in a pot, and if it roots, you could always trade with us. Everything that we have, we will be posting in the videos that are to come, so please be tuned in to see what plants we have, and if we have any air layers or seedlings, we are always ready to give it to you if you are ready to help us in any way. So I was telling that we do not have any irrigation system in our whole garden. We depend on a lot of mulching every year, so there is about a foot of mulch everywhere where trees are planted, and more dense where there is a lot of different trees in a certain area. We don't mulch along the walkway, as you can see, but wherever the trees are, and I'll be showing you different areas of our garden, it has at least a foot of mulch. And we try to make our butterflies and bees happy. Don't put any pesticides. This is a porter weed. So we are entering back into the garden from our home side, and these are the two bamboos that are like an entrance inside. and they have not been watered, but in a year they really grew a lot. And in our garden we depend mostly on the mulch that we put a lot of mulch, and we also do compost tea. We brew them, and we have started putting mycorrhizae as well, so we see a lot of mycorrhizal activity. They give a lot of they help the plant to absorb a lot of nutrients, and they also help the roots to grow much dense during the drought season, so you don't have to irrigate every day. So we don't have an irrigation system, and all the plants, they have been doing really well in our garden. There are pests, but there are also predators to that pest. It's more like a an eco garden where things are like you would have in a forest. Everybody is here, but there is predators, there are pests, and everyone seems to thrive. So that's what you will see in our garden. So when you enter here onto the left side, you will see some banana trees. Well, the reason these bananas were planted here, this is the Namwa variety, is to give a wind protection to the sweetheart lychee that's behind. They are very good bananas. They're small and very sweet, and they're doing well. In this area that was in front of the lychee, we have, along the border, we have planted some Brunfelsia flowers to give some fragrance, and they seem to be doing okay in this high heat and full sun condition. Behind here you can see it looks like trash, but it's not. It's a turmeric. We use turmeric every day in our food, in our curry, and it's really good for your health. It has anti-inflammatory properties, plus it's good for your joints as well, good for your good to prevent osteoarthritis. So you can really plant them. When they look like this, they are not ready to be chopped off, and you could make it look cleaner, but what it is happening right now is that the roots, which are the real turmeric that you use, the roots are actually getting nutrients from these leaves. So we don't really cut the leaves until they completely dry off. And here we have our compost, which it's been more than 1 year, probably 1.5, probably almost 2 years. And this compost has been doing very, very well. It keeps on, the size never increases, and we keep on dumping all our fruit scraps from our fruits and vegetables, and it doesn't smell. Yes, we haven't used the real compost, but I think it goes all to the plants here. So I think in future we might want to do it, but right now it's doing well for us. A lychee tree, been a year, lot of flushes, but again, unless your winters are really dry, they will not be giving flowers. So fingers crossed. There are some cold spells coming, and hopefully it stays dry. On to the right of this path is all we have planted dwarf mangoes. There is a honey kiss now, which is a late variety. There is a pina colada. There is namdokmai, cotton candy, guava, and Julie mango. And in between here we have ginger planted. And this area used to look like trash, just like by the river, and in 2 years it's been transformed into a nice fruit dwarf garden. It's very dry and it's very sunny, so we will still have to see how they do, because we haven't irrigated this area. It's all from mulch, and you can see some of the mango leaves are going yellow, and it's from lack of water. But I will not water it right now, because it's supposed to be winter, supposed to be dry, is good for mangoes. So I would start only during the spring time. Walking along, our Neelam tree mango has grown taller and bushier than before, and our circle looks nice now since we have started to cut the grass. Zoysia does well if you cut it every week during summer, and in winter probably every 3 weeks. So I don't think we need to cut it every week for winter time. Okay, and here is our water source for all the all the wildlife here. We have seen squirrels drink from it, we have seen a blue jay drink from it, the mockingbird drink from it, we have seen our cats, they also depend on this. So it seems like and then there is no mosquitoes. You might say, oh, there will be mosquitoes. No, actually we brought some fish, the gambusia mosquito egg eating fish, and those fish have been controlling the population. We don't see any mosquito activity, no mosquito larvae around here, so I think it's a good thing that we did. The grass here, yes, we tried to cut the grass with we borrowed the lawnmower, the electric the gas one from the neighbor, which did a good job, but I didn't like the smell. That was really irritating my throat, and I was looking for something that is more environmental friendly. So we decided to use a mechanical cutter, and it has rotating blades, and it's a good workout for me as well to do it, and it's not a big area. So, and with Zoysia you can do it every 3 weeks during winter time, probably every week during the summer rainy season. So I think we are good and satisfied that we won't be harming our health. And also the noise, I see that a lot of wildlife get really scared when we do loud noise with the system. So I think now with the grass cutter that's mechanical, it's helping everyone. So this is our beautiful circle. We have another shade loving monstera there, and I think this area kind of flourished from last year. I don't know if there was this idea of making compost of all the palm leaves and all the leaves by the river, but we did make a raised bed, and it doesn't look clean, I understand, but it is helping us not to throw this compostable, this organic matter into our garbage bin. So we put it here, and with time it sags down because everything is being eaten and composted. So I think there was a good idea. At some point we will put some soil and start planting some trees to give more stability to that area. If you go around the circle, and we will be back to the mango garden, but before we reach there we have all these trees. There is nothing new from last year, it's just the ones that we planted have grown taller. This one was in the pot for a long time. This is from India. This is probably, from what the leaves look like, this is a white sandalwood plant or tree, a small tree. The Tahitian gardenia, Hawaiian gardenia, the jabuticaba is again, I think it's one of the trees that needs constant irrigation. Probably would have done well with the irrigation system. We haven't fruited it yet, and we think it could be from the lack of constant irrigation. So unfortunately we may not be able to make everyone happy, but we will see. I have been mulching it a lot. The Vietnamese gardenia seems to be flourishing a lot. We didn't have a good luck with our night blooming jasmine. The diurnal jasmine is doing well. Some of the leaves are eaten, but it's not overall bad. Seems like the tree is overgrowing the caterpillar. This whole area has been mulched this season. You can look at how it looks right now. And the mangoes are kind of high density planting, so they are about 8 feet apart. Some are supposed to grow tall, but they can be easily pruned. Some are short, and we have started to plant things in between mangoes. So here you can see there is a sunflower, peach sunflower planted, some sweet potatoes planted, and here you can see there are 2 varieties of pomegranates. These are Indian pomegranates, and you can see here hibiscus are planted as well. There is a black Suriname cherry planted there, and there is a cassava planted. So we have tried to utilize the space and just leave space for walkway. Our two guavas are doing okay here, the Barbie pink and the Tikal guava, and there is a chance seedling of mango which I'm leaving it for now. Now if you come to this area, we have figs growing here. Our figs have grown okay, but haven't fruited well. There are some figs up there. I think it might have to do something with not getting enough sun, and these are full sun plants, so probably they are not getting enough sun to fruit well. And down here from last year, this has grown much and looks very nice. So this is the perennial peanut plant, so it's a very good ground cover. And another guava here, I think it's not liking its place because it doesn't get sun, but the papaya here is not going to be there forever. So once it fruits, and I'm going to air layer it and transport it somewhere else. So this is the other side. This is another path that is on the side of the dwarf, the shade garden. On the left here we have many pots. Some of the pots are new arrivals that will soon find homes. Some of them will be transplanted into big fabric pots that we got, the 20-gallon ones, and some of them are still will still need to be in the shade because they haven't grown much and they can't be in full sun yet. Showed you about the shoe button ardisia that was in the middle of the prospective nursery there. So we root pruned it a week ago, and now it will be easier for it to transplant into a pot or to transplant into a new place. So another beautiful plant. We realized that this tends to grow vertically up, and if it grows 12 feet, you won't be able to get the leaves which you want to eat in your salads and curry every day. So what you need to do is you need to trim it, and don't be feeling shy or scared about trimming it. Wherever you trim, there will be branches coming out from there. So trim it to keep it the height you want. Also, if you let it grow tall too fast, in the windy season it's going to fall. So you want your base to be thick. So you have to keep on trimming. Okay, so this is the middle part of our whole garden here. On the left here, you can see a lot of diversity. It's a diversity on hormones kind of. You can see everything here. There are fruit trees here, but there's everything here. Banana, katuk. This is a tuber that you can eat, and you also can see a hummingbird tree there. Up somewhere you can see a hibiscus here, you can see a katuk planted here, you can see ginger here. So a lot of different medicinal herbs and fruit trees, but the concept is more of a dense gardening where you give like a look of a forest, where you're not planting them spacing 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet apart, but they are all growing there. And the funny thing is that everyone seems to be loving it and they're flourishing. Whereas on the right side, it's more cultured, it's more doctored, so everyone is taken care of individually. Mostly they're fruit trees, langan, mango, papaya, pomegranate, and guava. So many different varieties of fruit trees, but they are planted in a more controlled environment where every one has a certain distance. There are no ground covers, there are no shade plants under the trees. So these are two different types of gardening. It's almost like two extremes. One is more controlled, one is more wild, one is shade, one is sun. And that's the same in life. There is life and death. There is day and there is night. There is happiness and there is sadness. And if you only catch to one, we are actually going from one extreme to another. There will be happiness and then there will be sadness. Buddha taught about the middle path, to be in the middle, to accept the both extremes. So you accept day, you accept night, they are part of one. You accept death, you accept life, you accept happiness, you accept sadness. Here, this garden is a whole, and this part, which is the wild part, and this part, which is the controlled part, they exist in one unity, and you accept both, and you are in the middle, and this is love.